Hello and welcome. You're watching Ask PQ on Bloomberg Quint, and I am Alex Matthew. With me is Agam Vakil.
Hi Alex. If you got questions on equity, this show is perfect for you. Send your questions to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp. You can call us on 022-4540-4141, or of course mail us on askpq@bloombergquint.com. Just make sure you do add the AskPQ hashtag. But before we get in the individual queries, let's also take a look at the Indian markets at this point in time, which are advancing by around 0.5%. Both the Nifty as well as the Sensex are advancing, with the Sensex just a step behind the Nifty. But we have seen some recovery from more early morning, where we did see some declines coming through. The Bank Nifty index is up by as much as 0.7%, so that's also up and about. Taking a look at some of your broader market names, well, we do have the Nifty Midcap and the Small Cap indices advancing in trade, where you have about 2% gains for the Nifty Midcap index, and Small Cap index, well, advancing by around 2.8%. Moving on to some of your key gainers and losers, something like Tata Motors, which is advancing by around 8%. HPCL is also up as much as 6%, and Indiabulls Housing Finance up by as much as 5.5%. Coal India, of course, is looking at gains of around 3.8%, BPCL and Eicher Motors, among other stocks, which are also advancing in trade. As far as your losers are concerned, we have Tech Mahindra, which is down 2.5%, L&T and Wipro, well, losing out to a certain extent. But we're watching out for the likes of Infosys, Dr. Reddy's and Z Entertainment on the whole. But this, as far as the markets are concerned, on the whole, it's another day of trade where we're looking at well, some amount of recovery, and we'll keep an eye on that one.
Absolutely. Well, let's get our two experts in for the day, Agam. We've got Astha Jain of HEM Securities and Jignesh Mehta of kiranjadhav.com, who are here to answer all of your questions. Welcome to the show, both of you. We're getting a lot of questions live on our social media platforms, so why don't I start with the first one that we have on YouTube, which is from Vishal Sangvi, and this is a short-term query from Vishal. He's asking, in the next 1 to 2 months, whether he can expect any dips in AB Capital and Yes Bank from the current levels. He has already bought shares in both these counters, and he's looking to add more on dips. What is the advice that you can give him, Jignesh? I'm coming to you for the first question. Jignesh, can you hear me? Okay, well, it appears that we have some sort of a technical snag. Let's go to the second query then. Mayank Saraf is asking about Philips Carbon. He's holding as many as 10,000 shares of Philips Carbon at a rate of 150. That stock is up in trade today, up as much as 9% at 178. So he's sitting on a bit of profit here. Astha, from the fundamental point of view, we've got an investor who's sitting on gains as of now. Would you recommend holding for the long time?
Yeah, sure. Talking about Philips Carbon, definitely if we see the fundamentals of the company, this company is a consistent performer on the fundamental point of view also. Even if we see their last quarter results, it's almost more than 90% jump they have shown in their bottom line. So altogether, this stock is looking very strong. If we talk about the valuations, also valuations, while since we have seen a huge fall in the stock due to the fall in the in the mid cap and the small cap space, which we have witnessing since, I should say, August 2018, this stock has seen a huge fall, and that's why we are just seeing the stock not running as much high as other stocks are. But still, my view is, because the fundamentals are strong, and if mid cap story will be like going on, definitely we are of this view, at least for this whole year of 2019, then this stock will really perform better. So my idea is hold this stock for the longer term point of view, and you will get the return of more than 20% on this counter.
Okay, I believe we do have Jignesh with us now. Jignesh, good afternoon. Thanks for joining in. If you can hear us, the question that we had for you was from Vishal Sangvi. He wanted a view on two stocks actually. The first one is AB Capital, and the second one is Yes Bank from current market levels. He wants to know whether or not these stocks can be bought into, keeping in mind a 1 to 2 month horizon. Jignesh, go ahead.
Yes, of course, Anuj. Good afternoon. First of all, let me talk about Yes Bank. Yes Bank has already completed a pattern called inverted head and shoulder, which is a reversal pattern. So stock is already it has broken out and it is ready to touch the target levels. Target levels for Yes Bank in the coming 2 months would be around 320. If the viewer wants to hold it for 1 month, I think holding for a little longer would be better. Counter can be hold with a stop loss of 220. I think risk to reward ratio is pretty good for Yes Bank to hold. So I suggest Yes Bank to be held from current levels. Second stock, Aditya Birla Capital. I don't see any reversal pattern which has formed yet. The only good thing about Aditya Birla Capital is that from the lower level, it has given the first survival signals, and from 77 around some levels stock has started moving up. Stock has to consolidate further. If it is just a 1 month view, I don't recommend to go into this stock, but if it is for the longer term, at least for 6 months or 1 year, I would advise to buy it in an accumulation tool. Otherwise, for 1 month, I think it is better to ignore from current levels.
Okay, let's take a question on Ashok Leyland then. We've got a question from Ayush Gupta. He's asking both the technical and fundamental view on Ashok Leyland. Remember, February sales have come in and it's only an increase of 0.4% or thereabouts. Let's talk about the stock having gone off the lows that it has seen. 52-week low of around 77, but it's now about 4% higher in trade today at 90. So let's quickly take a technical check. Jignesh, what's the view here for the short term?
Well, Ashok Leyland is already a contra call from me from the level of around 83, 84. It is a buy just because counter has taken a reversal, and reversal has been taken from too far away from the 200-day moving average on the lower side. I think this is a fantastic buy for Ashok Leyland. Although it is a contra view, whenever such stock moves in a contra view, it has a pretty good move on the upside. I still consider 95 should be the level for the counter in a very short term. Ashok Leyland for a long term is also a buy for me. If it is for the long term, the stop loss should be at around 80 and target should be around 115 in next 3 months or so.
All right, so specifically on the long term, on the charts indicating a buy, this is Jignesh's view, and he mentions that it's a contrarian view. It is a contrarian view. Astha, I want to get you in as well, because a lot of brokerages here are maintaining their sell call on Ashok Leyland. They're not convinced on the fundamentals of this counter. What's your view? Would you recommend getting in for the long term?
For the longer time point of view, definitely one could get in, but not right now. I suggest if some dips will be there, then it is a good buy rather than at present point of time, because the automobile space as a whole is looking good, but not in the short term, only in the longer term. And if an investor can wait for the 3 months more, then then he'll get a better opportunity to buy, because the fundamentals of this company is not posing so much of optimism as we look after the financial performance. Also, an automobile space in itself is not looking that strong, at least for coming 3 months. So my idea is, if anyone want to buy Ashok Leyland, then buy at the dips is advisable rather than at the present point of time.
Okay, that's your view on Ashok Leyland. And moving on to our next question, it's from Riddhish Shah. He wants a technical view on Tata Steel. Let's pull up Tata Steel and take a look at where it's trading. And as we all know, because of fundamental reasons where iron ore prices and improvement there's a pass-on effect, which is why we've seen some of those steel companies do well in general over the last few weeks. It's currently at 517. What can we expect from Tata Steel as we move into the next few months, for that matter? Jignesh, your technical view on Tata Steel.
Tata Steel has already given reversal signals. I think from the level of 450, it has gone to 517 within no time. I think from the higher level, it may see some resistance, but at least 540, 542 are the levels from where I think stocks should find some resistance. So from current levels, I think it is a buy for short term with a target of 542 with a stop loss placed at 500. And this view should be. This view should be followed with a strict stop loss, as it is a contrarian view considering the overall downtrend.
Okay, a bit of an open-ended question for you. This one's for you, Astha. You did mention that you see opportunities in the mid-cap space in an answer that you gave a little earlier. We've got Shivakumar who's asking for two suggestions or recommendations in that space. Do you have some for him?
If we talk about mid-cap space, for Bata India is very strong at present point of time, because the way this company is coming out with new brands and it's really getting, I should say, these brands are really becoming very popular among their clients and the customer base. So Bata is really looking very good. Even they have seen a jump in margins. So first choice is Bata India. And apart from that, even Ipca Lab in the pharmaceutical space is very strong at present point of time. Because of the strong set of numbers which this company has posted, along with a decent balance sheet of very low, I should say, debt on the balance sheet. So altogether, Ipca Lab and Bata are my preferred choice in the cap space at present point.
All right, so two counters there, Bata India and Ipca Labs. Bata India is an interesting pick in the retail space, of course. We've got a lot of technical queries coming in, Agam. Especially in the F&O space also, there are a lot of, what are the levels that you're looking at in terms of, maybe we can take a few with Jignesh. I think he's back.
Absolutely, yes. So we do have Jignesh back with us right now, and I'm going to take up the next one, and it is on Laurus Labs. We have Haritha on YouTube again, who wants technical levels on Laurus Lab. He holds the same stock at around 380. It's currently at 348. So sitting on a little bit of a loss at this point in time. Jignesh, your view and your reading on Laurus Labs, what would you advise the viewer to do? The viewer who has bought Laurus Labs at 380 rupees per share.
Right. I think Laurus Labs is currently still forming low over bottom. 80 are precisely the levels of the falling trend line for this counter. So until and unless this trend line is taken away on upside, I cannot suggest this counter, because it will not then breach of the trend. So I suggest currently it is. I think currently it is a stay away kind of a. If viewer has bought it, 300 is pretty far from the current level. At least for the time, viewer should think of out of this stock for now. On the 380, consider back in the counter.
All right. Well, that's the view on Laurus Labs. And now there's another question from Vivek Pratap Singh on Ashok Leyland. We did take a query on Ashok Leyland a little earlier in the show, Vivek. The view from Jignesh, of course, is a contrarian view. It's a buy, and the view from Astha is to buy on dips and to be a little cautious there. Let's take a question on the fundamentals of Tata Elxsi and Tata Metallics. Anil Singhal has got a question for you, Astha. What is your recommendation on these two counters?
First of all, talking about Tata Elxsi, the fundamentals are looking decent. They are not very strong, but still they have posted some sort of growth in their last quarterly results. And even if we talk about the valuations also, the company is trading at a P multiple of 19, which is quite reasonable when we see the industry P multiple of 23. So altogether, Tata Elxsi is looking good, but not very interesting at present point of time. So if anyone wants to buy an investment horizon is long term, then only investment in Tata Elxsi is advisable.
Okay, well, on that note, we move on to the next question from Jai Chandar Borkar. He wants a fundamental view on Everest Industries. Let's pull up Everest Industries and see where this one is currently trading at. He hasn't mentioned whether or not he is already invested in the stock, but it's currently at 480. Astha, this one is for you. We will get a technical view as soon as we have Jignesh back online. But for now, your fundamental view on Everest Industries.
Fundamentally, this stock is looking very good. Even if we see the financial performance of the whole year of FY19, it has shown the turnaround in their bottom line for the whole year of FY19, because in the FY17 the company was having some sort of losses if we take out all the other income and extraordinary income. So altogether it's a turnaround story if we take out other income as a whole. And even in their quarterly performances also, the company has shown the decent growth of 34%. Their debt is quite quite in the comfortable level. So everything is going very good. For this company. So my idea is, if anyone want to invest, again the horizon should be long term, because again this is an election year. So we are not very much sure about the mid cap space or a small cap space. I mean, some volatility can be seen. So for the mid cap and small cap space, yes, investment is advisable at present point of time, but only for the longer term, because in shorter term we can see some sort of volatility. So definitely investment in Everest Industries is recommended at present point of time.
All right, let's pull up the longer term charts of a couple of stocks here. This is Uniply Industries and also Century Ply. It's an interesting question from Sunayan Chakraborty. He's asking which would be the better choice between these two counters. Astha, what would your pick be?
Basically, if we talk about Uniply Industries, definitely Uniply Industries is not looking that strong, because they have shown some sort of a degrowth in their financial performance as compared to Century Plyboard. So my idea is, if anyone wants to go with the, between these two stocks, then Century Plyboard is a better choice. But again, my idea is, it's better don't go with these stocks. Let them show some sort of growth, because both of these counters are not able to show that strong financial performance. So if anyone wants to go strictly with, between these two counters, then Century Plyboard is better choice. But my idea is better to invest in the good quality mid-cap spaces, like ACC is also there in the cement space. We are liking it. Ipcalab I have already recommended, Bata I have already recommended. So these counters are looking better than these two companies.
Okay, well, moving on to a question from Mihir. This one is again a long-term view question, and he's also mentioned two stocks. The first one is Indian Oil Corporation. That's one of the largest OMCs in India. And the other one is LT Foods, which has a specialty in rice. So two companies from two very, very different sectors. But Astha, your view here, of course, one is from the mid-cap and the other one is from a large-cap space. How would you go about Indian Oil Corp and LT Foods?
Firstly, talking about Indian Oil, we are not very much optimistic on this counter, because again, this is into the OMCs, and OMCs, due to the high government regulations and all, this sector is not looking that great, because whenever a sector is influenced by the government and other things, then definitely they are not able to perform so strong on the bourses as other sectors are. So my idea is, stay away from the OMCs at present point of time. These are only the good trading ideas, but investment from the longer term point of view is not advisable at present point of time. The second question is about?
It's about LT Foods.
Okay, talking about LT Foods. LT Food is looking good. No issues in that stock. Good financial performance with the reasonable valuations at the present point of time. Even their return on equity is very strong. The only problem is with their debt, because their debt to equity is around more than 1. So this is the only problem with the company, but other things remaining good. I would like to suggest, if anyone want to go for LT Food, only for the longer term, the investment is advisable at present point of time.
Okay, we've got a question from Subhash on YouTube. Thanks so much for writing in. Well, you've got NCC Limited and you bought this at 80 rupees. You're asking for the view for the next 6 months. We've got Jignesh back with us. Jignesh, this counter is doing particularly well in trade today, up about 7.4%. What is the view for the next 6 months?
I think from the point of view of today's move, I think it is fantastically well, because it has not only breached the resistance levels, 200-day moving average as well, and also a neckline of the reversal pattern called inverted head and shoulder. So currently this stock looks very good from current level, and since we know that viewer has bought it at around 80, so it is very lucrative. This counter is going to give him good profit. It is already in profit. Viewer should hold it with a stop loss of 90 rupees. I think the target for this stock should be around 104, 105 levels within next 10 to 15 trading sessions only.
Okay, well, Jignesh, while you're with us, if you could also address VIP Industries. We have a question from Vivek Pratap Singh. He wants a 3 to 6 month view on VIP Industries, which is currently trading at 415. It's absolutely flat right now, but we have seen a lot of traction in this particular company over the previous few days, or rather, if I would say a few months. Jignesh, your view on VIP Industries?
Yes, I think we have seen some traction, but before the traction, the counter has fell from around 520 level to 400 and 400 levels. I think stock has breached its support line, and this support line comes from the uptrend that we have been seeing from last around 3 years. So 3 years uptrend is already breached by this counter. I don't see any goodness coming very shortly into this counter. So staying away is my advice. If you are hesitant, I think one should go ahead and get out of this.
Okay, we've got a question from Rangarajan Balakrishnan on Facebook. He's asking about IDFC Limited and he's talking about a 3-month outlook. I do not know if he's invested in this counter. It's up about 1.25%, but very interestingly, from the end of last month going into this month, the stock is up about a significant amount, up from levels of 35 or thereabouts. So up about 10.5% over the last month or so. Jignesh, what's the short-term view? 3 months is the question that is being asked. Yes,
the counter is already in a downtrend, and the current move is already a pretty big up move from the lower levels. I think stock should find resistance somewhere from the current levels. I don't see stock could breach 42, 43 levels very soon. 42, 43 levels are the final levels for this counter from where it would see steep resistance. So I suggest stay away from this counter, and if viewer has already bought it and he has it and he's sitting on a profit, I think he should consider booking the profit in this counter.
Okay. Moving on to a question from Nishank Rai. He wants a fundamental view on Eicher Motors. Astha, some concerning volumes coming in for Eicher Motors over the previous few months, but today, of course, we've seen an advance of around 5%. Of course, a few days ago, it was trading below the mark of, well, 20,000 rupees per share. How are you seeing fundamentals on Eicher Motors?
Talking about fundamentals, although we have seen some sort of uptick in today's stock price, but my view is at least it will take another quarter or two to finally get out of this, I should say, downward trend, because automobile space, or if we talk about any automobile counter, whether it's Eicher Motor or Ashok Leyland or M&M, we are seeing some sort of, I should say, pressure on their volumes. And definitely the way, the domestic factors are also turning out, it seems that it will take at least another 3 to 6 months to get recovered, all these auto companies to get completely recovered. So for the Eicher Motors also, my idea is, although we have seen some sort of uptick in the prices, but it's better to stay away from this counter for some more time, and we will get better investment opportunities in the coming 3 to 6 months, and then only invest in the Eicher Motors. At a present moment of time, wait and watch is the strategy to adopt.
Okay. We've got a question from Ankit Bhattacharji. He's got investments in Indiabulls Ventures. He entered at levels of 456, and that counter, as he points out, is down significantly. It's up in trade today, about 5%. He says that he can hold on for only about a year or so. So let's take a technical check. Jignesh, what's the view on this counter? A lot of ground to make up. What are the levels that you're looking at?
I think stock is already going up from the lower levels, but I don't see there is any goodness that should come in before stock could go above 400 level. 400 is the levels which is a falling trend line for this counter. I don't see any more goodness in this counter until it breaches 400. 400 is pretty far even from the current levels. I say it is better to stay away from this counter. It does not look that good on the chart.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've been told it's time to hit the rapid fire segment. But before we begin, I'd like to request our experts to keep their answers as short as possible so as to accommodate as many queries as possible. And the next one is Make Money Organics, where we require a technical view. The question is from Harsh Jain. Jignesh, your call on Make Money Organics now, which is also advancing in trade today at around 62 rupees per share. How would you trade this?
I think for 1 month view, stock should be a buy with a stop loss of 50 rupees and target of 78.
Okay, that's a very quick view. Another couple of stocks, if you can. If not, we'll come back to you for it. Newland Laboratories and Motherson Sumi. What are the immediate calls that you have, Jignesh?
Well, for Motherson Sumi, I would consider a buy. Motherson Sumi, Eicher Motor, Ashok Leyland, all these three counters are contrarian view buy for me. For Motherson Sumi, 150 should be the stop loss, 180 should be the target. For Newland Laboratories, it has already given an up move. One should take a profit booking from this counter because counter can go into consolidation from now.
Okay. Astha, a question for you. What is your fundamental view on Max India and Max Financial, keeping in mind the merger?
Keeping in mind the merger, I think Max India is not looking that attractive at present point of time, so it's better not to invest in both the counters. Stay away.
Okay, another one for you. Maruti Suzuki bought at levels of 6,900 for the long term. Would you recommend that Ramanuj hold on, Astha?
Hold only for long term, not for the short term, but here the time horizon should be more than 1 year.
Okay, Astha, another one for you. Is it a good time to enter Sterlite Technologies? Indrajit Tambe is asking.
Sterlite Technologies is looking very strong from the fundamental point of view. Only the problem is with the parentage and all, but still it's the right time to enter into the stock. Again, horizon should be more than 1 year.
JK Paper trading at levels of close to 150. Riddhi Shah is asking whether it makes sense to enter. Astha, what's the view?
JK Paper is looking very strong. Paper story as a whole is looking good. Definitely one can enter at the present levels also.
Okay guys, we've run out of time on this show, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Astha and Jignesh, for helping our viewers with all their queries. But that is all that we have on this edition of Ask PQ.
But do remember, as always, we're just a tweet, post or call away. Do keep your queries coming, and we promise to address as many of them as possible on our shows. For all the previous episodes, you can visit our YouTube channel or in fact the website bloombergquint.com. Do stay tuned. Up next is Power Lunch. This is Bloomberg Quint.
वक्त ने ली करवट और जीत